Hello there and welcome to World of Tanks with Chieftain. So in continuation of my recent practice, I've recently acquired the Chieftain. I managed to earn the silver and Wargaming had a discount on tier 10 tanks. And this allowed me to purchase the Chieftain a bit earlier than I would otherwise have anticipated. So I've managed to fully equip it, and this was my first game. Now I'm not sure if I had it fully equipped for this game. I may just have had vertical stabilizers and the gun rammer. I've put in ventilation since. So I think I only had, like I said, 2 out of the 3 equipment slots full. So we're on El Haloof and I'm heading off to Heavy Tank Corner. Where else to try out a heavy tank than on Heavy Tank Corner? Now, not all our heavy tanks are actually heading up this way, and we're probably a bit light on tanks, at least initially. So I've heard that the Chieftain actually performs a bit like a medium. It's quite fast for a heavy tank, and I was thinking of going in around and making use of the gun depression, but there was nobody else coming up this corner, so I thought that I should initially at least try and hold this corner.
The enemy knows our location.
So it's the T-110 heading for the westernmost corner, probably planning to side scrape from there, and I've set myself up for side scrape from here, and I bounce a shot off the upper front laces of the T-110. Now I'm not the best at side scraping, and I'm definitely not the best at facing tanks like T-110s and I-7s and IS-7s and stuff like that front on. I really don't know the frontal weak spots of these tanks, and they give me a lot of trouble. And I probably should have switched to premium ammunition straight away, but I didn't want to use premium because I wanted to get a feel for the tank, get a feel for the regular ammunition. Now, I've had a few games in it since. It's not the easiest tank to side scrape, although I do well enough on the side scraping side of things in this game. My problem is more the shooting rather than the side scraping and the overall disposition of our team. Like, there's a number of us up here, but there really isn't enough compared to the number of enemy tanks that arrive on the scene. So there's a T10, there's a T110, E3 I think, or E4, E5, and I think it's an E5 actually, and an IS-7 up there at the moment. There's also a number of tanks on the other side of this rock formation that I'm hiding behind, engaged in some of our tanks, and they'll get forced back fairly rapidly. As you can see, I'm bouncing shots off the front of the D10. I'm trying to track him so that the tank destroyers, who will have better penetration than I do, can be more effective. And initially the T-110 is actually handling the corner quite well, and that he's protecting his lower front plate, from me anyway, really well. As you can see, I'm starting to get really concerned now behind me, and I should have pressed the right bumper there to keep my turret pointed forward, because I allowed the turret to turn and I've paid for it quite severely from the T-110. However, I managed to put a shot into his lower front plate as he came out too far at the corner, and I'm trying to repeat it now, but with little success. But yeah, effectively now I'm cut off, plus the couple of tanks that are with me, and we're boxed in here, there's no escape. But the enemies, or the allied tanks back on the ridge lines don't seem to be responding, even though they have no visible enemies to shoot from anywhere else. So other than that shot in the back of the turret, I haven't actually taken much damage so far, and as the T-110 backs off further from the rock, I'm actually getting a few shots into the lower front plate. So I'm continuing to hang in here as long as I can, while I'm hoping my allies behind me will be able to clear the number of tanks down in the dip. And it looks like a second bunch of tanks now have become are becoming isolated because there's another tank coming up behind them.
They've spotted us.
So I'm desperately trying to finish off the T-110, and then the IS-7 has appeared at the corner. Now I'm in trouble because
Ready to fire.
the IS-7 is timing his activity. He knows that I'm more or less alone here, so he's timing his shots to my shots. When I fire,
Our tracks come
he
off.
comes out and puts a shot into me or into one of my allies.
Fire on target.
So that finishes me off, and I'm now completely finished. And they basically make short work of the team. I don't play through the rest of the match because I didn't actually record it from the point of view of the other players. I didn't do a whole lot of damage, and I thought it wasn't a satisfactory look at the Chieftain. However, the following game, I decided to take it out for another spin, and we got Thiepval Ridge. Now that's a new map they've added, which I haven't had too many opportunities to play on. I think this might have been my second or possibly third game at the time. Now I've had a few more games on it since, and I've gotten a better feel for the map. It's a fairly open map. I actually think it's potentially going to be a very good map.
Focus on this area.
But there are lots of opportunities for long range engagements and long range fire. And some of the approaches are a bit deceptive in the sense that you might think that you're approaching undercover, but you could still be observed or spotted by somebody in suitable locations from quite a distance. So I've taken a kind of a central route with which I've had some success before. So I'm going to skip on a bit, because this is just the driving stage, and we arrive into the actual action. So we're meeting here around the middle of the map, and things are looking quite good. I mean, I have allies with me. The enemies are approaching from a limited set of directions. Some of them have been really nice and given me the size of their tanks to shoot at. Things are looking up. I decided to come up here, tuck into the corner, see if I can repeat my side scraping feat again. This time, perhaps with greater success. Don't have much of a shot here, and the angle is too steep, and I managed to bounce that one. So the enemy tanks decide to rush the position, which is probably a wise enough move, but there's many of them. I try and track the T-110, and I'm wrecked. So I'm thinking safe stowage is in the future for this particular crew. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider giving it a like, and please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.